Assalamu alaikum and good evening to the beautiful people of ARY Digital. We once again had a lopsided match between Quetta Gladiators and Peshawar Zalmi, where Peshawar Zalmi got the better of Quetta Gladiators by almost 60 runs. At one time, Peshawar Zalmi went 90 and were going at a run rate at almost around 7. But in the last 8 overs, they picked up the momentum and hammered the Quetta Gladiators bowlers to all parts of the park. Special contribution came from David Miller, and the finishing touch was given by Romwell Powell. In fact, a couple of bowlers from Quetta Gladiators went for plenty. If I have to be very upfront, the over of Cameron Delport went for 25 runs, and 2 overs from Zahid went for 53. That's too much, and you could see the frustration of on Sarfraz Ahmed's face that their team leaked so much runs. And when they came on to bat, they lost already du Plessis due to a freakish injury where he collided with Hasnain, and he had concussion, so he couldn't come on to bat. The openers gave them a decent start, but the run rate required from the beginning was almost 9, but they could not keep up to it. And in the end, it looked like Quetta had given up going for the target, and the batting done by the middle order was very poor. And I have to admit and say that Sarfraz Ahmed did not go for the runs. He really realized that the writing was on the wall. And when you lose by 60 runs, chasing 190, and we're not as good as bowled out, it seems like your team is totally low on confidence, and that could be seen on Quetta Gladiators. It seems it might be the end of the journey for Quetta Gladiators unless something drastic happens in the PSL, because they are still sitting on 2 points after 7 games, which looks very, very poor. When it comes to Peshawar Zalmi, they are at 8 points and they've uplifted their run rate. The top of the team is obviously Lahore Qalandars with 10 points, followed by Islamabad United with 8 points. Then we are talking about Peshawar Zalmi and followed by Karachi Kings. And the bottom 2 teams, obviously Multan Sultans as well as Quetta Gladiators. We are going to have 2 double headers today. We'll discuss about that. Well, we have a very special guest on our show today. That is Herschelle Gibbs, who is the head coach of Karachi Kings. But let me tell you about his record in his international playing days when he played for South Africa. He's played 90 test matches and scored 6,000 runs, and the highest being 228 with an average of 41. And we talk about ODIs. He's played 248 ODIs and scored almost 8,000 runs, and the highest of 175. If not, the youngsters, if they don't remember, that 175 came against Australians, which are the rivals of South Africans, where they managed to chase 434. Welcome to the show, Herschel.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, or inviting me for a chat. Always good to start the Sunday off with some new faces.
No, before I come to Karachi Kings, you mentioned about the quarantine, and now that you are in the bubble, Can you tell our viewers, this 10-day quarantine, how tough it is, or how you guys manage it?
The hotel itself was beautiful, but to be stuck in a room for 10 days wasn't the easiest. But we managed to get, I managed to get a stationary bike for the last 3 days. So I was able to do a little bit of exercise, which obviously helped a bit. Ultimately, it's a mental thing, as long as you keep the mind activated or stimulated, the body is not that frustrated.
Herschel, let's talk about Karachi Kings. 6 games, 6 points, 3 wins, 3 losses. How do you see the team shaping up?
Where we lost that particular game, or the other night, was probably in the first 10 overs, where we had a lack of variety with regards to how we bowled. I think we overused the slower ball a little bit too much in the first 6 overs in the power play. And they still batted well, but I thought we could have varied our bowling options a little bit more, not specifically with regards to the skill. So I understand, they wanted to take pace off the ball, but I think there was other variations that I think they could have implemented.
Well, you came back into the match with your bowling, with Tisara bowling 3 tidy overs and picking up 2 wickets, but probably in the end, one of Amir's overs went for a few runs.
Yeah, after the strategic break, myself and Wazza came onto the field. We asked about Yorkers. And suddenly they started bowling Yorkers. They had looked a different bowling unit altogether.
When Karachi Kings win with Babar Azam scoring runs, everything is fine. But when they are on the losing side, especially when chasing, unfortunately, he's been criticized that he's slow to start off the blocks. You have been an opener yourself. What would be your assessment as a head coach?
No, look, I understand. I mean, he's got, the people... He's such a good player, and obviously, especially his supporters and the Pakistan public, they obviously expect him, to make runs and make in T20 and make runs fast every time. But that's not the case. I mean, as good as he is, he is human after all, and they expect so much of him. But the good thing that happened the other night was that at least he kept his end up. He kept on losing wickets on the other side, and people don't often see that. They always think about scoring fast. So it doesn't help you losing wickets on both ends of the, losing wickets on both ends of the pitch. Because Multan bowled really well. They bowled their lengths really well, much better than we did. So we absorbed that pressure. And for Sergio, yes, it was very unlucky the way he got out. And then Guptill and Najib, got out early, where they maybe could have seen off Tahir, because we knew he was the most dangerous bowler. If you look at the way some of the players have played against the spin, there's been a very cross the line shots, which has given easy wickets to the spinners.
Now your next match is against Islamabad United. They too have some top spinners in Shadab Khan. So this is why, like you mentioned, that it's not spinning, but probably you need to read the googly well, or you need to probably target other bowlers.
You can't play the game without the basics, and partnerships, with bat and ball is crucial in whether you win or lose a game. And the first option, if the ball is not turning, is to play straight. And if you look at the way the wickets have been falling against the spin, everybody's been playing across the line. So that is my assessment, from all the teams. If you looked at how the wickets have fallen against the spin, especially.
What about Karachi Kings probably missing one spinner? Or do you think one spinner is good enough with what Karachi Kings is having?
No, look, I know what Imad, a skipper once. I can't see the value of playing two spinners if it's not turning. It's quite simple. Irrespective of how many left-hand batsmen or right-hand batsmen the opposition have. With regards to tomorrow's night game, we're going to obviously... There might be a change or two, but I obviously can't reveal what that might be.
Well, that's the head coach of Karachi, Herschel Gibbs.
Thanks for the chat. It's been great.
Same here, bro. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We have another special guest on our show, very notable journalist, Shahid Hashmi. And not only a journalist, I will say he's a cricket aficionado who reads the game well, like a head coach. Welcome to the show, Shahid bhai.
Thank you very much, Anis bhai.
मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे जो मैं चाहूंगा हमारे शायकीनों को आप बताएं, what is wrong with Quetta Gladiators? क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ जो इतना बुरा खेल रहे हैं वो?
Body language is very low. Before the game, they were playing 7th game last night. Before the game, we had the tweet from their owners, Nadeem Umar, apologizing to all the fans, saying that we were not good this season. We will definitely dominate in the next 10 years. That showed the spirit in the game, in the camp. And before your 7th game, you still have a chance to qualify. Maybe mathematically, maybe virtually you are out, maybe virtually you are in. But that showed the spirit in the camp. Very facile, very flaccid approach to the game, 7th game, and it showed on the team's performance. Conceding 197 and then chasing 198 was a big task. They had problems aplenty in this season of the PSL. उनके जो फॉरेन प्लेयर्स आते थे वो क्वारंटाइन करते थे, नेक्स्ट डे गेम खेल लेते थे, प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं होती थी. गेल के साथ ऐसा ही हुआ, फाफ डुप्लेसी के साथ ऐसा हुआ. Then when they played in Abu Dhabi, jinx struck on them, concussion वाला jinx. आंद्रे रसल को कंकशन हुआ, फिर फाफ डुप्लेसी को कंकशन हुआ. Their foreign players are not getting settled. Weatherald is a very good player. पहला मैच वो बहुत अच्छा खेले, लेकिन कल जब उनकी जरूरत थी वो इतना अच्छा नहीं खेले. And then there are some decisions which are very surprising and very shocking. Sarfraz has nothing to do at number 6. वो अगर खेलेगा तो उसको या तो ओपन करना है या नंबर 3 करना है. He'll have to anchor the innings. वो एंकर नहीं किया. फिर 5 ducks in 136. 5 ducks were too many. फिर उनका लेग स्पिनर इतनी अच्छी बॉलिंग कर रहा है. जाहिद महमूद is a good bowler. Then he is a better bowler than he performed last night. 3 overs, 53 runs. Bowling left-hander to over the wicket. एक कोई ट्राई नहीं किया कि राउंड द विकेट जाते. एक ट्राई नहीं किया कि कोई पेस वेरी करते, कोई क्रीज का यूज करते. ही वाज वेरी अनइमेजिनेटिव.
अगर आप एक मशवरा देना चाहेंगे तो आप अपने तरफ से क्या दोगे? चलो टूर्नामेंट से शायद बाहर हो गए, बट हाउ डू यू कम आउट ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट ऑन अ हाई?
Do scouting well. Their players, they selected players. Some of the players were not up to the mark. वो regularly Saim Ayub को खिला रहे हैं. He is a young boy with potential. Under 16 बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा था वो. ऑस्ट्रेलिया से 2 series Pakistan won, and all those series were basically because of Saim Ayub. Saim Ayub missed under 19 World Cup because of injury. उसका progress इतना अच्छा नहीं है. And then Sarfraz will have to lead from the front. थोड़ा वो घबराया हुआ भी लग रहा है. थोड़ा वो अपने ऊपर जिम्मेदारी नहीं ले रहा.
आपको लगता है सरफराज अहमद अपनी कप्तानी रख पाएंगे अगले साल?
उनका बिलीफ है सरफराज के ऊपर. मोइन खान का भी बहुत बिलीफ है उसके ऊपर. नदीम उमर का भी बहुत ही बिलीफ उसके ऊपर. एंड यू नो सरफराज वेरी वेल, अनीस भाई. आई नो सरफराज वेरी वेल, हैविंग स्पेंट a lot of time with him. Used to write his columns during the World Cup 2019. और he's got a tremendous knowledge of the game.
आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा. सरफराज पे भरोसा है कोच का, उनके ओनर का, और उनकी गेम की समझ उनकी बहुत अच्छी है एज अ कैप्टन. प्रॉब्ली शायद उनको अपने आप को थोड़ा सा अपने वो कहते हैं ना कि ऑन फील्ड जो एक्सप्रेशंस होते हैं उसको प्रॉब्ली कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा. एंड आई एम श्योर ही विल वर्क ऑन इट, बिकॉज इससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है जब लोग देखते हैं, एक प्लेयर एक यंगस्टर देखता है तो ही लुक्स अपॉन हिज कैप्टन. हम बात करते हैं आज बड़ा मैच है जो होने वाला है, जो सबसे पहले है इस्लामाबाद यूनाइटेड और लाहौर कलंदर्स का. हमने इस्लामाबाद यूनाइटेड को देखा, उनके कॉलिन मुनरो जिस तरह से उन्होंने 90 रन बनाए, और लाहौर कलंदर्स टॉप पे है. ये 2 टीमें तगड़ी टीम लग रही है. आपको क्या लगता है मैच का?
इस्लामाबाद को थोड़ा सा डिसएडवांटेज है. हसन अली हैविंग लेफ्ट the bio bubble because of some family problems, तो उनको definitely bowling में problem होगा. बाकी उनकी bowling जो इतना अच्छा नहीं कर रही है. लाहौर कलंदर have the momentum with them. 2 matches 2 wins. एक मैच और जीते हैं तो वो प्ले ऑफ में पहुंच जाएंगे.
और दूसरे मैच हम आते हैं मुल्तान सुल्तान, जो भी बॉटम पे है, सेकंड लास्ट पे है, और जल्मी के सामने खेल रहे हैं, जिन्होंने कल कॉन्फिडेंटली इनफैक्ट आराम से क्वेटा को हरा लिया. क्या कहना चाहोगे?
जल्मी अगेन will have edge. उनकी बैटिंग भी चल रही है, उनकी बॉलिंग भी चल रही है. वन क्रिकेटर वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, आई वांट टू प्रेज हिम, इज उमैद आसिफ. बहुत ही अनलकी रहा, नेवर प्लेड फॉर पाकिस्तान, लेकिन इतना हार्ड वर्किंग है. कल भी उसने कमाल की बॉलिंग करके बिल्कुल जोल्ड कर दिया था क्वेटा ग्लेडिएटर्स को, और दे हैड लॉस्ट द मैच आफ्टर 9 और 10 ओवर्स. तो उमैद आसिफ के पास मोमेंटम है. वहाब रियाज इज बॉलिंग वेल. मोहम्मद इरफान इज टेकिंग विकेट्स. उनको थोड़ा सा एक स्पिनर अच्छा खिलाना चाहिए. फैबियन एलन को उन्होंने पहले खिलाया था, तो उनको स्पिनर चाहिए एक. और एडवांटेज टू पेशावर ज़ल्मी. मुल्तान सुल्तान के लिए मस्ट विन गेम है. उनको चाहिए कि इमरान ताहिर के साथ उस्मान कादिर को भी खिलाएं. उस्मान कादिर भी विकेट टेकिंग बॉलर है. और ये जो हर्शल गिब्स कह रहे थे कि इतना स्पिन नहीं हो रहा, ट्रू स्पिन नहीं हो रहा, लेकिन स्पिनर को आपको मारने के लिए थोड़ी सी फोर्स चाहिए होती है. और जब स्पिनर वेरी करता है अपनी पेस, थोड़ा क्रीज का इस्तेमाल करता है, राउंड द विकेट, ओवर द विकेट बॉलिंग करता है, लूप देता है बॉल को, तो डेफिनेटली आई थिंक स्पिनर का पार्ट है T20 गेम्स में.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया शाहिद भाई, आपसे एज ऑलवेज बहुत मजा आया, और हम उम्मीद करते हैं आपके साथ जल्द जुड़ेंगे. शुक्रिया.
थैंक यू अनीस भाई, बहुत शुक्रिया.
Congratulations to Samaira Hussain from Sharjah for predicting the winner that Peshawar Zalmi will win the match against Quetta Gladiators. Today's question, we want to know which team is going to win the match between Multan Sultan and Peshawar Zalmi. Please make sure to send your answers to Mr. Cricket at arYdigital.tv. We hope to have more and more answers, and please let us know your comments about the show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to joining you again tomorrow.